Hello and welcome to this AI News of the Week. My name is Jonathan Green, host of the Artificial Intelligence Podcast. I'm so excited to have you here this week. We have some good news and a little bit of news that has me nervous. As you know, we only cover news that's relevant for you growing and accelerating your business. If you want trendy news and tools that are not ready to grow your business, you are in the wrong place. I only focus on what's practical, what's useful, and what's available in the market right now. Our first piece of news comes from Hugging Face. Hugging Face is a platform where most of the really good open source innovations have been happening, and they've just formed a partnership with Google. To be honest with you guys, I'm not excited about this. The last thing I want is Google getting their claws into the top open source platforms, because this could mean the end of the open source revolution, and that's not something that I want to see. I think that's the most important part of the future of artificial intelligence. We'll see how this plays out, but this is an important story simply because open source AI is a very important part of my marketing strategy and my marketing strategy for you. Our second story is called Lumiere. Google also has released a new software that's their text to video generation. As usual, whenever they release a new model, they put out some videos saying it's the greatest thing since sliced bread. And let's take a quick look at what they show on their demonstration. You can see it's demonstrations of animals doing silly things, and notice how short each of these clips is. Every single clip here is about 2 to 3 seconds long, and they're constantly flashing out. There's a reason they're doing that. It's not ready for prime time. This is a massive red flag. If someone was able to actually make good text to AI video, they would be showing a 30-second video, not a 3-second clip. Even though this is interesting, just be aware that this is another announcement from Google that's not worth your time, so we're not going to talk about it much longer. ElevenLabs has two pieces of news. The first is that they've raised a bunch of money. We don't care. What's more important is that they've released several new products, including Dubbing Studio, Voice Library Marketplace, and a new mobile reader app. This is very important because ElevenLabs is hands down the best voice generation platform. They have already started to create voices that are convincing enough that they can pass the Turing test. We want to stay aware of what they're doing. It's very interesting because they're creating a marketplace. So now you can design voices and buy and sell them on the marketplace. I think this is going to be something very interesting. They very well may supplant what's happening with the ChatGPT store. Our next story also comes from Google, is that Google is likely to kill ChatGPT soon. This story is about how Google is putting more and more AI features directly into Chrome. What they're trying to do is, what a lot of these large companies do is use acquisition or their market share to push everyone out of the game. They go, everyone already has Chrome. If we build AI in, no one will go to ChatGPT or OpenAI's website. This is not going to work. OpenAI just crossed $3 trillion in valuation. It's a massive company. They're massively successful, and their AI tools are just better than what Google's putting out. For the first time ever, people are actually using Bing instead of just using it as part of a joke. Very interesting to see that Google's trying this strategy. I don't think it's the right move. Google's been caught putting out stuff with fake videos, which I caught several weeks ago. They've been putting out models that just aren't as good as everyone else's, and they need to really focus on that. The way to win this game is to put out the best model on the market, and that's the most important step. And until they do that, I think they're always going to be a step behind. I think that Google may not win the AI phase. We'll see what happens as they continue to modify Google search and Chrome using AI. Now, here's our final story. This is not news to me. Nightshade has been around, and I was tweeting about this 3 or 4 months ago, but it's important because now it's finally been released for everyone. Here's what Nightshade is. It's the first anti-artificial intelligence weapon released into the market. This cannot be understated. This is the first demonstration of an anti-AI weapon. We've now entered a world where artists are now normalizing anti-AI technology. This is something that we don't want to see in the marketplace because it's setting a very dangerous precedent. The last thing I want to be a part of is an AI versus AI war, and that's what's being initiated here. A couple of scientists that think they're heroes have created the first weapon of a new type. How long until we start to see counter weapons? They call it poisoning. That's a form of biological warfare. Next, there's going to be an anti-Nightshade weapon developed. And then there's going to be another technology, Nightshade 2.0 or Nightshade X or Nightshade Turbo. And we're going to start to see escalations. I think this is something we just want to be aware of because it's something that I don't think is very good. I think we should be worried about this. And the idea of setting a precedent of creating AI versus AI weapons is a really bad idea because we don't want to normalize that. This can be a technology that can bring the world forward, can raise the living standards of everyone, can equalize a lot of markets and competitive marketplaces. Every single person, no matter what their native language, can now write, blog, and create content in perfect English with no spelling mistakes. That's a major advantage because that was the barrier to entry for many people into the powerful market as ghostwriters. That's just one example of how it can help people in other countries. This, however, is something in the other direction. We should be worried about this. This is not something cool or exciting. This is something terrible because now we're starting to make anti-AI weapons. How long until we see Claude making weapons that are going against Perplexity, or Perplexity developing a weapon to attack ChatGPT? We don't want to see this. So be aware that what's really happening here is a normalization of something that we don't want to see, which is anti-AI weaponry, because what happens next? Hopefully, people realize that this is a path we don't want to go down. There's other ways to deal with artists being worried about their designs being modeled or stolen, where you have to figure out what the rules are. This is not the right option. This is the most important story of the week. I know it's not a business story, but sometimes you do need to be aware of things. A lot of people are posting and writing videos about this. I guess 4 months too late. I'm covering this story just because it's popped back in the news, even though this actually came out in October. Now you know all the most important news of the week. Make sure to subscribe, follow, hit the like button, hit the bell. I do share these videos on multiple channels. Make sure that everyone who follows me can get access to this content, because this is the most important news of the week in 10 minutes or less, and often in 5 minutes or less. I'll see you guys next week with your AI news of the week. Until then, I'll see you later. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked that video, I think you're going to like this one, or maybe even this one. Check them out.